Hello everybody. At the request of family and friends, I thought I would do this review in just a video. So this is the TATA Nexon EV that we bought about a month ago. On July 20th we got it delivered. July 28th rather. And yeah, we've driven 837 kilometers. And you can see this sort of analog plus digital dial. So I can just explain this really quick because there's a lot of interest about this. So most importantly, that's the discharge part. That's 27% batteries left, 60 kilometers to discharge. And then you have the three modes here: the power mode, eco mode, and the regenerative. The regen is there. It's not a different mode per se. When you drive in the eco and the power, regen does kick in. So regen is like most hybrid and new cars where the braking recharges the battery. So you can actually recharge quite a bit of the battery if you're going downhill using regen. If you drive a certain way, you can actually recharge the battery quite a bit, and that's also the part of driving. Also, it helps, this little graph here. It optimizes your driving. When you drive, there is a graph, there is a line that keeps going up and down. You want to keep it in the middle. When you keep it in the middle, it's perfect, sort of very gradual driving, and you get the maximum range. So you can see here we've driven 837 kilometers. I'll go over that in the video too, how many times we've charged it. But this is the dial that I want to talk about. If there were any improvements, I would say it was probably, one very cool thing, like normal cars now, you can answer your calls and you can, up and down the volume, move through the menu. But the horn is a little tight to press the horn. You see, if I just press it, it doesn't go. I have to even if I press it that way, it's not. And now, and that's a horn. So, well, one good thing is when I used to drive, and I used to use my sort of my back of my hand as a horn, and that works perfectly for this because you have to press it down. So I don't know if it was designed for me, but I won't complain about it. But the horn's a little tight for normal people. Here again, you have all of those controls on the side. So I was right now just setting up Android Auto for my father, and so that he could use Waze and the apps to navigate, because Android Auto is the way to navigate to places. So this is sort of the inside of it. Another cool feature is this is cooled. You have a fan here. You can turn it on and off, and you can keep this cooled inside, so you can keep cool stuff in here. The driving experience is fantastic. I have to say, I have to just include the driving experience here. On drive, it feels, on eco mode, it feels like a smoother, a little more powerful Innova, I would say, in my opinion. But when you put it on power mode, there is no SUV out there that can compare to this. Not that I've driven. They say it's 0 to 60 in 4.9, or I think those are the numbers. Whatever be the case, I put it on sport and I try to overtake, and you sort of skid and you overtake. So it's a wonderful drive experience in sport. But of course, sport messes with the range, and so that's something that you use only sparingly, especially when your family is always keeping an eye on the range. That's a new aspect of owning this car. They know exactly how you drive because it'll show on your range. So we got the Nexon EZ Plus Luxury, EZ Plus, Lux model. So that's the top end. You can see the leatherette seats. There's a charging port right there. If you can see it, there's a charging port for the back people. There's a vent that the Kona didn't have, which was great. And the space in the back, this part in the Kona was a little elevated, but for the Nexon, it's flat, and that gives us a more comfortable little spacing there. All in all, the inside experience is very good. So you get the sunroof, and that's pretty. It's not as a big sunroof as the MG ZS Plus, but it's pretty good. I mean, the MG ZS Plus is a huge sunroof that I really liked, but my father was all for the Indian EV, and so we went for it. Another thing we don't like is these blue lines inside the car. It's not too bad, but outside the car it looks a little strange. But anyway, this is a quick review of the inside of the Tata Nexon. Waze is a beautiful, you can use Google Maps or Waze. I prefer Waze, but I've been just playing with Google Maps right here on my father's phone. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, just let me know and I'd be glad to answer it. I think everyone should adopt EVs, and that should be the future. We have the worst air pollution in the world in our country in India. Estimates are very alarming. Millions of people die every year from air pollution, and if you thought corona was bad, air pollution has been killing people for decades. So I think it's a responsible part to buy an EV, and if you want to take it one step further, buy an Indian EV. So I'm only glad to help in any way possible. So let me know if you have any questions. Oh yeah, and by the way, let's take a look at the charging setup. One second. The charging setup. So we have. So this is the car, as you can see. It is this blue line. Not a big fan. None of us are a big fan, but the car is on right now, but you can't even hear it. That's the beauty of this car. And as you can see, this is the charging setup. So and you have the charger, you plug it in and you turn it on, pop, and you have it placed in here instead of a cable, and it goes to the backside. So that's a 15 amp charging port, and the 15 amp, in about an hour it does about 10% charge, and then you plug it in here. So that's the car. As you can see, it's a beautiful little car, and this is after a lot of research, having driven the Kona, having driven the MG ZS Plus, and having seen electric cars for over 10 years now. I've been keen to get one, having seen them abroad, and so this was finally our decision, mostly made up by my parents, who were keen on getting an Indian car. And if I had a choice, I was leaning more towards a more established car like a Kona, but I think I don't regret it anymore, because this is made for Indian roads, and after all, this is Tata, and who doesn't like Tata? So hope you enjoyed the review. If you have any other questions, please let me know and I'd be glad to answer. Alright, have a great one. Bye bye.